Hey everybody, it's Jason Blah here, and today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Dan Green tearing his bicep and the possibility of me switching over to hook grit. So let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing, work on scaling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. Now, if you don't know who Dan Green is, just Google Dan Green powerlifter. You'll get the idea. Now, a lot of people jokingly say things like Dan's the Jesus of powerlifting. Some of us have described him as Thor incarnate. I kind of like the Thor more. Now, he might not appreciate either one because I do understand he and his wife are pretty religious. They're very devout Christians from what I understand. So he might not like the Jesus reference, so I'll refrain from calling him that. So that being said, apparently Dan Green, who is a Raw World record holder in powerlifting, who happens to look kind of like a bodybuilder in spite of being a powerlifter, tore a bicep a few months ago apparently. And okay, this kind of shows what a beast Dan is. He didn't realize he tore his bicep. Now a lot of people are going to go, what? Yeah, he didn't know he tore his bicep. He thought his forearm hurt, so he started wearing straps for a couple of months, hoping it would heal up and the pain would go away in his forearm, and it didn't. So he went in and got an MRI, and it turns out he's torn his bicep. So he's just been pulling with straps with a torn bicep. Well, I'll just throw 800 pounds around with these straps on, it'll be fine. I don't think he's human. I don't think Dan Green is human. I don't know what he is. Maybe he got a lot of Neanderthal genes or something, but he's not human. Dude just throws around 800 pounds on with a torn bicep, right? It's all good. Dude is a beast. What more can you say about Dan? That's some tough stuff right there. But that being said, I've had to think about all of this. And it's something I had thought about recently. And I've actually had several subscribers in the comments say this. And it's like, man, I've got subscribers mirroring my own thoughts. And then I see Dan doing this. Having torn a bicep. I know so many guys I know personally have torn biceps in the last few years. Guys I've competed against. A guy I beat. A guy I out deadlifted by like 5 pounds at my last meet and stole the medal from him. Like I inched him out. We walked into final attempts tied. And I beat him by 5 pounds and took his medal. Tore his bicep. It's like, are you serious? This is stuff I've got to think about. I had previously torn a bicep. I'm 41, and I'm standing here saying, guys, I want to get to a 700 deadlift before I turn 45. I want to do it. I never did it in my 20s. My best ever was 655. My estimated max right now, 6-ish, maybe a hair over, based upon my rep work in the gym. And I tore mine with only 605. I tore it with 605, even though I had pulled 655 prior to that. I tore it with 605. And because of that, I always pull with my right hand supinated, because my torn bicep that previously tore and had fixed, I always worry about it. I nurse it. Well, I'm 41. I'm a YouTuber. I'm a fitness YouTuber. If I tear another bicep, I'm done. Right? Just like Junkie Ward's probably done after that pec tear. It's like Keno Booty when he finally tears a pec with the silly stuff he does. These guys are going to be out of the game. I'm a master's athlete now. I'm in my 40s. I got to think about stuff like this. I've got to really think about longevity. And I've seriously got to think this through. What's going to happen if I tear my other bicep? Am I ever going to bounce back from that? If I do that in my 40s, am I going to bounce back from that? I don't know. I don't know that I can. I probably would never deadlift again. So I've got to start thinking about this, the hook grip. And in my case, I'm doing my Bulgarian training right now. I don't care about progressing on my deadlifts. I'm at a point to where I may not bother to pull anything heavier than 550, maybe even 580 anytime this year. if I'm going to start messing with hook grip, I need to go ahead and start here soon. Why not? You know, it's not like I'm deadlifting ultra heavy right now. I'm going to use my squats and rows and cleans to build my deadlift and just maintain technique. Now would be the time when I'm pulling sub-maximal weight for guaranteed the rest of this year. Now would probably be the time for me to start learning the hook grip. And I don't like the hook grip. I want to get that out of the way. I don't think it's quite as good as the mixed grip in terms of holding onto a bar. I don't think that it is. But I'm also eventually want to incorporate the Olympic lifts, right? I've talked about that. That'll be a long-term goal. When I get my strength base back where I want it on my big lifts, I do need to incorporate Olympic lifts. It'll really help me with those. It'll come in handy. Be real useful. It'll dramatically reduce my chances of tearing a bicep. Yeah, it hurts. I don't like it. The hook grip hurts. It's uncomfortable. I don't think it's quite as good as the mixed grip with less injury risk. And you know, and people need to understand, for most of you out there, that injury risk isn't a big deal. It's relatively rare. And when I say relatively, I don't mean it doesn't happen, but the odds are very, very low. People very rarely tear a bicep with less than 600 pounds on a deadlift. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm not saying it hasn't happened to someone I know, because I'm pretty sure the guy who I beat in my last meet, his lifetime best deadlift is only like 560. You know, he's a hell of a bencher. But I think his lifetime best might have been 560, 570. I know he was a sub 600 pound puller when he tore his bicep. So he did it with less than 6. So I mean, it does happen. But it's fairly rare. The vast majority of bicep tears are over 600 pounds. So most of you guys don't need to worry about that. And I don't think the number of people who've torn a bicep with 500 pounds is really, really low. And a lot of you guys out there, I tell you, look, getting to a 500 pound deadlift, that's a real good goal. If that's all your goal is, you probably don't need to worry about the hook grip. Because if you just learn to deadlift correctly, and you train your biceps to be strong in a stretch position by either doing dead hang chin-ups, right, coming all the way down, some incline curls, something like that, to strengthen your biceps in a stretch position, and you learn to pull the slack out of the bar, the odds that you're ever at any real risk of tearing a bicep with 500 pounds on a deadlift with a mixed grip, it's probably not going to happen. You would basically have to have an overuse injury for that to happen. It's not going to happen just bam. It's going to get sore and then do that. It's just not going to happen without warning. You guys who are saying you just want to deadlift 500, you don't need to worry about this. But, you know, a lot of us are seeing this happen more and more and more. If you plan on being an older lifter, be it maybe a higher risk of connective tissue tears due to age, or you're going to use a lot of anabolics, you know, that subjects you to a higher risk. You know, we're seeing more guys switching over to hook grip in the sport. It's more and more guys are doing it, and I understand why. And again, back to the point, most of you guys don't need to do this. Most of you will be fine with mixed grip. But it depends on how strong you want to get. When you start setting goals of 600 plus, you know, particularly if you're getting older, this might be worth considering it. I'm thinking about it. I was chatting with Brittany about it a couple days ago after the Dan Green thing, and I told her, you know, maybe I should do that. And she's like, yeah, well, if you think you need to do it, you need to do it. She's like, you do whatever the hell you have to do to not get hurt. You know, you need to reach your goals without getting injured. You can't afford an injury, and if you think that'll reduce your chances of having an injury, then why are you sitting here debating it? This is my girl telling me this. She's like, you need to just do it. Why are you even debating something that you think would reduce your chances of getting hurt in the long term? Why is this a debate? Just do it. She's like, it's going to hurt your thumb. It's going to hurt. It's like, well, would you rather rip your bicep? You think that'll hurt worse than your thumbs? She's like, don't be a pussy. My girl's telling me, don't be a pussy. Man up. Man up, deal with a little bit of pain in your thumbs, and don't get hurt. My girl's telling me this. So yeah, I think I need to go ahead and do this. I might even start doing it this coming week. Figure how I'm going to incorporate that and make sure my thumbnails are trimmed down nice and good. No sharp edges, so I don't cut my hand or anything. And yeah, I think I need to go ahead and incorporate it. At least start working on it. Definitely need to start working on it before I decide I'm going to pull anything 600 plus again. Yeah, I need to go ahead and do it. And this is one of those individual things that you personally have to weigh out as a lifter. You've got to realistically assess your goals. You need to realistically assess your situation. And if you need to make some sort of choice like that or adjustment to your technique or your grip or form that you don't want to do, you need to weigh it all out. Is it worth it to you? Is it something that's going to help you stay injury-free personally in your situation? Is there a realistic risk of injury without it? And, what are the benefits to everything that you do? And you've got to weigh these things out on an individual level. And in my case, given I've torn the left one before, I always favor the right, knowing that if I tear that bicep, it could hurt my income. It could hurt my ability to reach my goals dramatically. And that the hook grip is going to eventually carry over to some other stuff I want to do. There's multiple reasons to go ahead and do it. It just makes sense. So yeah, I see myself going that direction. And I'm resistant to it because I don't like the hook grip. But I know it's the right thing for me to do in this situation. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. And sometimes we have to do things in our training that we don't want to do because we know it's the right thing to do. And that's the difference between actually reaching your goals sometimes and not. When you see people who say, oh, I want to reach these goals, but I don't enjoy doing this, even though I know I should. Well, if you're going to do that with your training, then you need to step back and assess that the reason you go to the gym is to have fun, not to reach a goal. Don't pretend like you have goals then. And I think that's the mindset people need to understand. You sometimes you need to assess to do both. There are times when you've got a choice between 3 different things that will help you reach a goal best. They're all equal, and one of them is more enjoyable than the other. Maybe you like lifting heavier. Maybe you like lower reps. Maybe you don't like high volume. You can get just as big and strong without going over 3 reps. Research shows that. You don't ever have to do more than 3 reps on anything. You can still reach your maximum size. So you decide you want to do that, that's fine. Because there's no trade-off. But when you say that, hey, I know that this is something I probably need to do to reach my goals, it would be the best way to reach my goals, I just don't enjoy it as much as doing this. That's when you need to admit that you go to the gym for therapy, that you go to the gym for fun, that you're not going to the gym for training, and that your goals are things that you think that they would be nice to reach, but you don't really care about them that much, and that's okay. That's okay. Not everyone needs to go to the gym to train towards a goal. But you got to be honest with yourself about that. Why are you going to the gym, and why are you training? And if you're doing it for fun and stress relief, hey, that's fine. But don't start setting goals if that's the reason that you train. Because sometimes your goals are going to interfere with the enjoyment aspect of your training every now and then. Not all the time, but they will from time to time. You've got to decide what's more important to you. And that's a very personal decision, isn't it? It's something I can do for you. And it doesn't make you a bad person either way. It's a matter of priorities. And I'd rather someone go to the gym and train for fun. As long as they're not getting hurt, they're going to improve their health for it. They're going to be better off for it. I would rather people train towards goals. But doesn't make you a bad person to do the other, and you're still better off than not going to the gym at all. So, there is that. At least you're there. At least you're doing something. At least you're not sitting around being lazy and not doing anything about your health. Which with already puts you ahead of the vast majority of the population. So that's okay. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative. And I will talk to you guys next time.